Hi everyone. Pardon me. I need a little caffeine to get me through the night. This is Heidi from HB Paper Crafts. Welcome to my regular Tuesday live. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. Just going to take a minute to make sure that we are connected on my page. Hi Shelly. Looks like we are golden. So as always, I'm just going to take a couple of seconds to chat while everybody finds me in their news feed. I have just a couple of simple little cards for you tonight, but I just wanted to get a couple of other things mentioned before, as I said, while we wait for others to pop on. So I was going to talk to you a little bit about our May paper pumpkin. It's kind of exciting. The new in colors are featured in the May paper pumpkin. However, the first time ever that I'm aware of, the May paper pumpkin sold out. So that's kind of exciting. So I'm going to scratch that conversation. Hi, Pam. How are you guys? So next, I put out the retirement list for the catalog. As you know, in June, we receive an all-new annual catalog, the big book. It's like Christmas in June. We get all kinds of new, lovely products to play with. But as we ring in the new, we have to clean out the old. And so there are some products retiring from both the annual catalog and the new January to June mini. So I did send out that list. There was a couple of things that were kind of confusing, I thought, in there, and I just wanted to talk about them a little bit. When they put out the retirement list, they put items like the Free as a Bird bundle. So it looks like it's retiring. However, what they're retiring is actually the bundle price. So it's no longer available as a set anymore, but you can still get them individually in the new catalog. So they retire the item number. They retired the bundle, so you no longer get the 10% off, but you can still get the items in the new catalog. So on the retirement list, if there's asterisks beside the item, just read the fine print at the bottom and you can see that sometimes it's just because of the bundle. The next thing is the blends. It looks from the retirement list like the blends are retiring. They are not. They are in the new catalog. Stampin' Up! Has found that customers actually buy them in sets rather than individually. So what they're doing is getting rid of the item numbers. So they're retiring the singles of the, say, Poppy Parade. You can't buy them individually, light and dark anymore. Only the combos will be available in the new catalog because that's the way just people were buying them. So it saves shelf space and packaging, and so that's what they're doing there. So I just wanted to point out those couple of things. And yeah, so that's it. So I've seen the new catalog. It's very exciting. So many awesome new things to play with. You guys are going to love it. Next, I just wanted to chat. I have an upcoming bingo night in May. So Thursday, May 21st, 6 to 8 p.m. There's still time to register for this online bingo event. So we'll be making projects, we'll be making 4 projects, playing 4 games of bingo. Prizes are all brand new, Stampin' Up! Goodies and stamps. The registration fee is $25, and with your registration fee, you get entered to play all 4 games of bingo, and you will get the make and takes in the mail. So you'll get them to make on your own in the mail. So items will be cut and scored and punched and whatnot. You'll just supply the stamps, the ink, and the adhesive. So you can follow along, make the projects with me during the event. If you don't have the specific stamp set that I'm using, just switch it out for whatever you have. You could also, and I say that because Stampin' Up! Doesn't allow us to pre-stamp items and give them to customers. It's against policy. So you would just have to switch out your stamp set for whatever you have, unless you have what I'm working with. You could also refer back to the video whenever you like. So if you can't make them as we are during the event, you can refer back to the video and make them at your leisure. Once it is up in the group. It's going to stay there so that you could refer back to it. Anyway, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want to join bingo night, again, Thursday, May 21st, 6 to 8 p.m., just message or email me, and I will send you the registration info. So you can pay your registration fee by local check, or I can invoice you through PayPal, whatever works best for you. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great evening. Thanks for popping on with me tonight. As I said before, I just have a couple of simple little cards using one of my favorite retiring stamp sets. Wah, wah, wah. Label Me Bold is retiring. I just love this stamp set. I'm all about these block words. So I want to play with it one more time. So that's what we're doing this evening. I have a couple of cute, simple cards for you. Uh-oh, I feel like I'm going a little fuzzy. Can you guys see me? Try adjusting. There we go. All right, I have a couple of little cards using the Label Me Bold stamp set. So we're going to play with this set this evening. I'm going to start with this little thank you card here. We are going to start with a Whisper White card base that measures 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to fold it in half. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Sue. Hi, Debbie. Hope everyone's having a great evening. I'm going to grab myself a piece of scrap paper. I struggle with white space, so I wanted to make a simple card, but I also wanted to just jazz up the background a little bit. So what I'm going to do is that watercolor, use my water painter, and I'm going to do that flicking technique just to get a little ink on the background and jazz it up a little bit. So I'm going to put a little ink in the cover of my Memento Black here, and I'm going to get a little ink on my paintbrush, and I'm just going to tap it. And I did it at a diagonal, and I never know when to stop. So I'm going to stop there. Clean off my little watercolor brush so it's ready for the next project. And then I'm going to set this aside to dry. So then you just need a piece of Whisper White scrap paper. And we're going to use the same stamp for all of the images. So the inks I used for this card are Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie, Crushed Curry, and So Saffron. You could do this technique or this card in a variety of different colors. I kind of liked this, and I wanted to use another one of my favorite retiring products, the Bird Ballad paper. So sad to see it go. Okay, so let me find my cleaner. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with the Cajun Craze. I'm going to stamp my thank you. Because these are solid background stamps, I just like to make sure it's extra inky. And there's the first one. I'm going to go into a lighter color, so I'm going to make sure I clean it off on my little chamois here. We're done with the Cajun. We're going to go to Pumpkin Pie. And I'm going to stamp it there. Crushed Curry. And last but not least, So Saffron. There we go. Whoops, I should wash that off before I... There. Alright, so I'm going to put my inks away. And then these are super easy to cut out. My snips here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut right along the outside. And they're all straight cuts. Make sure I don't throw one away as a scrap here. Has anybody been sending out happy mail? Using your crafting time to play with stamps and ink? I think that when I was sick with kidney issues, I spent too much time watching HGTV. So now my husband is maybe not happy with that fact. We've torn out our entryway. I have big plans for it. We'll see. It's the putting it all back in that's the key, right? Hi, Linda. Okay, so now another one of my favorite retiring products, the Corrugated embossing folder. So sad. So sad. So I ran that through the Corrugated embossing folder. I'm going to mount it on my Bird Ballad paper here. And I like to use, with the more embossed pieces, I like to use tear tape. I think it just gets to where you need it to get. And I'm going to peel off. Oh, you're working on your card swap, Shelly? You're going to be so happy with what you're getting in return. I've seen some of them. We have some of them in. They're super cute. Okay, so that's going to get mounted right onto there. And I forgot a step, but that's all right. We're just going to let it happen because it doesn't have to matter, right? It doesn't have to match. And I also just finished my crushed curry ribbon. What did I do with my other piece? Oh my goodness. Well, I'm not sure what I did with it, so I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're just gonna switch it up for a piece of white ribbon that I have on hand here. The crushed curry ribbon is also retiring, but fear not, the white ribbon is staying. The white crinkle seam binding. I do love this crushed curry. Actually, that's what I'm going to pull out. Okay. Change of plans again. Do you like how that goes? I'm a hot mess. So now I just pulled out a piece of the white crinkle seam binding. This one is returning in the new catalog. The crushed curry color is not, the wider. That is on my example card there. It's retiring. It's so pretty if you want to snatch them up. It was one of my favorites. It's all my favorites. It's kind of hard to pick favorites. All right, so there we have it. So we switch this one out with a white ribbon. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my liquid adhesive and just give it a little love. And I'm going to glue it down to my card base that is now dry with my little ink splotches. And I'm going to give this a little trim because it's a little long here. Okay, so now I'm going to pull back in my little thank yous. And I'm going to glue these on. I'm going to use the liquid glue because it allows you to move them around a little bit so that you can get them straight or however you'd like. And they don't have to be straight. They could be all going different ways, and that would be perfectly fine too. This would be pretty in blues and greens, or aqua, granny apple green, and yellow. That would be pretty. Purples, all kinds of different things. And I don't want to get my head in the way. I just want to make sure those are straight. And last but not least, our Cajun Craze. And there we go. All right, and then for the finishing touch, I'm going to take some bling. And I'm going to just sprinkle a couple on here. Like that. And there we go. There is our first little card using the Label Me Bold retiring set, the retiring corrugated folder, and the retiring Bird Ballad paper. Also sad. I do think I like that wider ribbon. We could also, this white crinkle seam binding, again, you've seen me do it before, but we could color this with the blends. If you wanted a different color ribbon, you could actually make it any color of ink that you'd like. So that's one of the beauties of this white ribbon. So there we go. There is project number 1. My next card here is just another little simple card using the Label Me Bold stamp set and the, the poppy dies that are returning in the catalog. So I have a few pieces here. Again, we have a Whisper White background. I'm just going to fold in half. This is a piece of our Parisian paper. Has the, foiling words on it. That is going to just get adhered to our background. And of course, as always, all of our DSPs retire with a new catalog because they bring us all kinds of pretty new DSPs. But if you want to stock up on your favorite, now is the time. Okay, so before we move away from the background, I'm going to get my Petal Pink ink. And these little hearts that are on this card are actually, they're actually in this set, the Label Me Bold stamp set. So I'm just going to stamp a couple of hearts around like so. And then I cut some pieces. So I cut all of these dies using the poppy set here. I cut some leaves. I cut 3 of these little poppies here. And I cut the background out of a piece of vellum. So to put it all together, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to layer up my leaves first. And I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue. This green here is Mossy Meadow. On my original, I used Garden Green. But I think I liked the Mossy Meadow a little bit better. That's just more my kind of color, I guess. That more muted, earth tony color. And I'm just going to sort of intertwine these a little bit. And then I'm going to set that aside. Okay, so for these guys here, I think I've shown you this fun little trick before, but this is just our mat, or non-stick mat here, and this I'm peeling up the glue that I used earlier today. So once it's dry, you can actually peel it up, or you can wash this. You can set it right in the hot water, and you can wash all the adhesive right off this as well. So either way, you can clean this mat up. Cleans up really well. I'm going to give myself a little bit of glue here, and then I'm going to layer these right on top of each other. So when you cut several dies and layer them on top of each other, it just gives you a cool layered, or a cool pop-up dimension effect without having to use dimensionals. So it gives the flower a little bit of dimension, and of course trying to use dimensionals on an image like this would be nearly impossible. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of glue. This is just a section of our Stampin' sponge that I had cut out from one of the big round sponges, and I'm just going to dab some glue on this piece here, and I'm going to glue it onto the next one. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of the glue, and I'm going to glue this one on top. And then I'm going to do it one more time. And I'm going to glue it onto the vellum background. So there we have it. So then we have a little dimensional flower out of just dies and vellum. Alright, so I'm going to put this away. And this guy, we're just going to go ahead and, I'll get some scragglers here. We're just going to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of liquid glue. And I'm going to hit it where there's some larger spaces. Because of course this is vellum, so if you get too much glue, you'll see it. It really doesn't take a lot of this liquid glue. This stuff is a dream. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my flower down here. And then I'm going to take out my scrap of Whisper White again. This time I used Congratulations, but I think I'm going to switch it up. And I'm going to grab the Happy Birthday. In the Memento Black. It works really well to add glue to thin dies like that. Short of using like the adhesive sheets, which you could also do, you could put a piece of cardstock on your adhesive sheet and cut out your dies, your thin dies, and that would work as well. To me, I end up with a lot of waste when I do that, because of course you're using a whole sheet. Personal preference, as with everything. A lot of people don't love our liquid glue either, so, and I do a lot of projects with it. Alright, so there's my little Happy Birthday. And I'm going to go ahead and again, I'm going to hit it with a little liquid glue just in the center where it's going to go over this flower. And I'm going to glue it right there. I used twine on my original, but I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use another piece of this white crinkle seam binding. What do you think? Let's let's give it some color. So I'm going to use the dark petal pink, and I'm just using the brush tip. So all you got to do is run your blend right down the ribbon. And of course this is alcohol ink, so it dries really quickly. So you don't have to wait a long time to be able to use your ribbon. Just give it a second and it'll be done. So just like that. Dry it out, and then we're ready to tie it. So then you have a ribbon for any project. You could use the inks as well. So you could use your ink pad and dye this ribbon. It does take a little bit longer to dry, but you could certainly do that too. So if you had an ink pad and you were trying to match ribbon to your ink pad, this is a perfect go-to for that. Goodness gracious. I never struggle with bows as much as when I do a video, a live. Okay, and then I'm going to glue my little ribbon right down to the bottom. So I just have some little glue dots from left over from a paper pumpkin here. I'm just going to pick one up with my take your pick tool and set it where I want the end of my ribbon. And pick up the backing. The spatula tool on your take your pick tool is amazeballs. If you haven't got one, you will love it. And I'm just going to set my ribbon right down on that little glue dot. And we'll probably give it a little haircut here. And there we go. There is our second little card using the Label Me Bold stamp set. So sad to see it go. I guess we have to say goodbye so that we can get new pretty things to play with. But there are a couple, whoop, a little back to my glue dot there. There are a couple cards using this super cute retiring Label Me Bold stamp set. Hope you guys enjoy these cards and you enjoyed hanging out with me this evening. I always love it when I see you guys pop in. I enjoy my Tuesday nights of creating with you guys. It's great to see you. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.